Friends, a very important individual has come to Crow Country. He come to Crow Country as a visitor. He was welcomed into the tent just north of where I'm standing, and he became a member of the Apsaalooke Nation of Crow. And just like Crow tradition, he came into Crow Country by his name that everyone knows by, but he received an identity among the Apsaalooke. He was given a Crow name, the name of one who helps people throughout the land, was a name given to Barack Obama as he came to Crow Country. It is my great pleasure to introduce the next President of the United States of America, Barack Obama.
I want to thank my new parents, Sonny and Mary Black Eagle, who are the nicest parents you could ever want to know. And I like my new name, Barack Black Eagle. I mean, that's a good name. That is a good name. That is a good name. This, I think, is one of the most important events that we've had in this campaign. It is truly a great honor because as I've traveled across the country, one of the things I've made a point in doing is meeting tribal leaders everywhere I go. And the bond that I would like to create between an Obama administration and the nations all across this country, the government-to-government relationship that is so critical, is something that is going to be a top priority under my administration, and I want all of you to know how important it is to me. And I often talk about how the needs of American people are going unmet in Washington. Well, few have been ignored by Washington for as long as Native Americans, the first Americans. Too often Washington has paid lip service to working with tribes while taking a one-size-fits-all approach with tribal communities across the nation. That will change when I am President of the United States. My Indian policy starts with honoring the unique government-to-government relationship between tribes and the federal government, and ensuring that our treaty obligations are met, and ensuring that Native Americans have a voice in the White House. I'll appoint an American Indian policy advisor to my senior White House staff to work with tribes. I'll host an annual summit at the White House with tribal leaders to come up with an agenda that works for tribal communities, because that's how we'll make sure that you have a seat at the table when important decisions are being made about your lives, about your nations, about your people. That's going to be a priority when I'm President of the United States of America. Here's what else that I intend to do. We're going to end nearly a century of mismanagement of Indian trusts. We're going to work together to settle unresolved cases, to figure out how the trusts ought to operate, and to make sure that they're being managed responsibly. Today, tomorrow, and always. That's a commitment that I'm making to you as President of the United States of America. Now, I understand the tragic history between the United States and tribal nations. Our government has not always been honest or truthful in our dealings. And that's history that we have to acknowledge if we are going to move forward in a fair and honest way. Indian nations have never asked much of the United States, only for what was promised by the treaty obligations made by their forebears. So let me be clear. I believe treaty commitments are paramount law. I'll fulfill those commitments as President of the United States. That means providing quality, affordable health care and a world-class education on reservations all across America. That will be a priority when I'm President of the United States of America. That's why I've co-sponsored the Indian Health Care Improvement Act in the United States Senate. That's why I'm fighting to ensure full funding of Indian health services, and that's why I'm fighting to increase funding for tribal colleges and for primary and secondary education for Native American children. That will be a priority when I'm President of the United States of America. And as President, I will never forget what this park is meant to honor: the service and sacrifice of generations of Native Americans to this country. We have to keep our sacred trust with Indian veterans by making sure no veteran is falling into homelessness, and that all our veterans are getting the benefits and the support that they've earned and the respect that they deserve. Let me just close by saying this. We have a lot of work to do in this country for all people. As your chairman said, Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, and Native American. All of us are one people. All of us are struggling. People don't have health care. People are losing jobs. People have inadequate housing. Young people can't afford to go to college. Their schools are underfunded. My job as president is not just to get elected and sit there in Washington. My job as president is to make sure that Washington starts focusing on you, on your hopes, on your dreams, on your concerns. And to do that, it starts with a sense of respect. It starts with a sense that all people are worthy of respect. And unfortunately, that's not how Washington always operates. The Bureau of Indian Affairs sometimes acts like a bureaucracy that doesn't know anything about what's going on the day-to-day lives of people. We need to shake up that bureaucracy, get them out of Washington, have them come here to Indian country and start getting a sense of what's going on. You guys pay taxes too. You deserve to get decent service from Washington. But here's the thing that I want you to understand. You know, I was born to a teenage mother, and my father left when I was 2 years old. So I didn't really know my father well. I was raised by a single mother and by my grandparents. And we didn't have a lot of money, and we didn't have much of anything. I was growing up in Hawaii at the time, and where I was growing up, there weren't a lot of black families, and so sometimes I was looked at as sort of an outsider. And so I know what it's like to be on the outside. I know what it's like to not always have been respected or to have been ignored. And I know what it's like to struggle. And that's how I think many of you understand what's happened here on the reservation. That a lot of times you have been forgotten, just like African Americans have been forgotten, or other groups in this country have been forgotten. And because I have that experience, I want you to know that I will never forget you. You will be on my mind every day that I'm in the White House. We will never be able to undo the wrongs that were committed against Native Americans. But what we can do is make sure that we have a president who's committed to doing what's right with Native Americans, being a full partner, respecting you, honoring you, working with you. That's the commitment that I am making to you, and since now I'm a member of the family, you know that I won't break my commitment to my own brothers and my own sisters. Thank you, everybody. God bless you. I'm honored to be part of you.